My name is Joel Wortman from Mission Gray Studios, and today we're working in Dreamweaver to put together a div site, div layout in CSS, and we're also going to add a cool background that you can stretch from end to end of the page. I'll show you how to do that as well. So first thing we're going to do is File, New, HTML, Layout, None, and Create. So here's a basic layout, and code and design, and here we go. So first thing we do up here, create new, and we'll type in main canvas, and then pull from this drop down new style sheet. The reason you want to do this is it keeps allows you to reference your CSS styles for multiple pages. So you have to do it once, and every page you have, if you have a multi-page site, you can tie back into it. Okay. We're going to go to my file where we want the site. Save that. And we're actually going to say OK here in this case. I'm actually going to go up here and also in File, Save As My Site. And save it as index. Okay. Now we're going to go here and we're going to add a property. We're actually going to add a bunch of properties in this one, and some really unique ones that will modify the way it goes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say background. So type in B and select down background image. I'm going to click here, and I have a background preset ready to go. And then we're going to put down background position, and we're going to choose center space top. Add another property, background repeat, and we're going to choose no repeat. And you can actually choose these ones from inside of the if you double click on the main. Some of these ones, but they're scattered, and we have a bunch that we're not going to be able to use in there, so we're just going to do it this way. We're going to hit height. Oops. And we'll put in auto, and we'll do left, maybe 0. Type in min, we'll put min height. It's 100, and you have to change this over to %. And then we'll add another one, min. Now this one can change depending on how big your picture or whatever you're working with is. I'm going to choose 1200. And this doesn't have to be the actual size of your site. This is the background so it's kind of scalable. So if you want to have something larger or something smaller, you can do that. And we're going to set it up so it auto centers too. So if I want some kind of background with the black, it will fade in really nice. We have a few more properties to add. So position. We'll add fixed. Give me another 0, and width, and that will be 100%. And what these percent values is it recognizes the scale of the screen that you're using and wants to scale to 100%, and then top and left, they control making sure it goes all the way to the top and left of the screen. Okay, now we're going to go into our code. And inside the body, we're going to add a div, class, main canvas, close, and auto. If you hit the slash key, auto ends the div. We go into our design now and see what's going on right here. And if you do live view, there it is. And we can pull this up and like save changes. That's yes. As you can see, it goes all the way to the top. Now, if I try to scale this window, as you can see, it stays in the middle until it stops the max size. And so if you want a site that's, say, smaller, that's okay. And if I want to change the background color of the main page, I'll just go to here, do page properties, and choose background color. We'll say dark gray. Push OK. If you hit live view again, there you go. Now the reason when you're not in live view and it's showing this is because we didn't actually give it a real life height. So once it realizes something's here, and you can actually give it a min. If you want to add another property, you can actually say min height. Oops. Come there. Min. Oh, I already gave. Sorry. We already gave the min height, so that actually won't affect. So we can do height. Where we go with height, right? Height auto. So you could actually, if you want to change, sorry, if you want to change this one to say 500, it won't get any smaller. But the auto is nice because it just allows it to adjust based upon the size of the thing back here in the back. Because this is only your background. Something that's nice to do too in your code is if you take this, the head and everything above it, select it, and then hit this little minus key, hides that out of the way. And another nice thing to keep track of your divs and stuff, because they can get really chaotic, is you go here to apply comment, apply HTML comment, start main, and then I'm going to add another div, or another code, another comment I mean, down here at the bottom, in main canvas, because this is the main area of the site. Everything, all our code from now on will go inside here regardless. And the comments just help when you later on come back to the site and go, what the heck happened here? Let you find stuff. So we're going to save all. Okay, now we can actually begin our main layout. So I'm going to go ahead and do new. We can call this one main body container. Select OK and select OK. Now we're going to go into our box. We can do our width and we can say 1,000. We can say our height is 550. And I said this is all variable upon what you'd like to see in your site. And we'll select OK. Now we'll go to our code. And I'll just add a comment really quick. Start main body. And I'm going to add another one down here. Anticipation. End main body. Go ahead and type the div class main body container, close. We'll go down here and do the slash close. That way we can keep track of all our divs. So if we go to design again, as you can see now it actually has a size in here. And like a thing I like to do to help keep track of divs slightly is add just an arbitrary color. So we can add like a blue. And this isn't just for design layout, because pretty much for right now we just want to work with structure and the design of positioning your site. Now we're going to add another property here so we can get this centered. And we're going to add a margin. And we'll do 0 space auto. And that will automatically center this. So if this was like a transparent thing, you have your nice background here, and you have your canvas is transparent. Right now we just have blue so you can see it better, and that way this is like your main area of your site. And that's for all for that one. So we can go ahead and duplicate it. Right click on this and do duplicate, and we can call this links container. Say OK. And we'll change the properties on here. We're going to change this height to about 100. We can leave the width as 1000. We can change the color to something a little different so we'll be able to tell. And the margin auto is still good. Oops. As you can see, I accidentally, when you say new, sometimes it leaves you on the same one. So I have to undo that. If you want to undo it, the thing to make sure is that you select here on the actual CSS. So we go edit, undo, edit, undo. Now select back in your source code, go back to your design, and now select my links container, and we'll change that too. So watch that, be careful that if you have that issue, if you're undoing stuff, make sure you're selecting your CSS document, not your source code. So we'll say 100 again, margin auto, height, and we'll change the color slightly again. There we go. So now we'll go back to our code, and inside this div, we can add a new comment. Start links area. Another one down here. And links area. And we'll go ahead and do a div again. Class links container crows. And we'll go down here and do our closing div. Now, for here, when I do more divs in here, I probably won't label them. You still can, but this just kind of gives a nice little breakdown, so you go, okay, this is what we're looking at specifically is the links area on top here. Go back to design, and here it is. To me, it's a little tall, so we'll probably make this height about 50. That looks a lot better. Maybe even 40, 35. Yeah, that looks a little better. The same principle apply. Everything here you can use over. If you want to add like another layer above it for like a header or some sort. In this case, I'm not going to do that. If I turn my live view on, that's what we're looking right now. Oops. So I'm going to go ahead and save everything again. Save all. Oh, and make sure you select, if you're trying to save your stuff, select save all. That saves your CSS code and your source code. If you don't, it will not save your CSS. And then here you can see your when you select on the edge of the div, you can see these horizontal lines give the area that the margin is setting up. So we have an auto margin, so it's setting up everything on the sides. So up here, we're actually going to duplicate this links container again. Duplicate, and I'm going to call this links _1. I'm going to duplicate that again and do links _2. Now here I want to make this the height as 100%. And we'll change the color just for viewability to go to the green colors now. And then our links to, we'll select another green color, a little darker, and we'll select our height to 100% as well. And we'll make some modifications on that in a second. Oh, also in links 1, our width will be, we can just say 500 and 500. Oops. Okay. Now the reason we're doing this is so that you have more control over. If you did older websites and tables, this is kind of a variation of that, but it's a lot more user-friendly, and it allows you to use CSS. The reason we're using a height 100% is so that if you we'll put the code in first, and you'll be able to visually see it. So we go to our links area, and we're going to do the two divs, div class links 1, and we'll actually do close div right there. Place enter. Div class links 2 close div. Okay, go to our design, and there's our two divs. Now, as you can see they're right now stacking in a weird way. There's two reasons for that actually. First is I still have the width or the margin on 0 auto, which I need to turn off for now on both of those. And as you see, it's still stacking. The reason for that is we have to add another property called float. You can also access it in your box dialog. And we're going to put float left. And then we're going to put on this links 1, we're going to do the same thing. There we go. Now the reason you do left on both, you would think you would do left on one and right on the other. That can sometimes work, but you'll start having issues with floating weird. Okay, sorry about that. Windows love it. We're going to set up another. The reason is because when you start setting up certain types of designs with multiple, like having, if you had 3 or 4 or 5 of these, you don't have a left or right. But if you tell them all go left based upon the order of the code, so like link 1 is first left and this is next left, they're kind of like the left to right thing. So I mean, there are times when you can use the right, but in this case, in most cases, it seems like the using left for all of them works best. Now you can see we have the blue down here. The reason for that is because we have the height on the auto. If we go to live view, as you can see, it goes to the bottom. And you can manually set that up, but the reason is, like, say if we go to this links container and say you decide to change it to 100 again, if we did live view, all I had to change was one number and not 3. And if you had multiple versions in here, change 1, not 5 or 10. So we got to links, we'll do that 35 again. I think where I had it, yeah, 35. So this could be where you put your links, your code, any other type of plugin or links. We can go here and just type in some basic stuff. We'll go here and we'll do inside of our links 1, do home so just basic links. Now say you want to adjust these differently, you can add some padding to this one. Padding. And if you add padding, you have to do some adjustments on this one. This is more a filler one, so you can adjust things on both sides. We can say this one 100% as well. And this one you start having to finesse the site. Oops. Let's see, live view. We'll say 490. There you go. This is when you start having to finesse the site and the code just to get everything to fit correctly with everything. I'll have to find the way, and there's a way Let me find out. Give me a second. Okay, so I did some research and I couldn't find a really good solution, but I was able to come up with one that seems to work really well. So we're going to go ahead and change our width to 100% again. Good. And then we're at a max width property of 500, which was our initial number. And then we can add our padding. Oops. Padding left, and we can say, like, in this case we could say 25. And there we go. And now it's not adjusting this. Go to live view, make sure it looks good. It's not like that in that view. Okay, so after doing some more troubleshooting, it looks like there's no actual good way to do it when you actually go to live. Just the internet browsers don't support it. So let's modify some adjustments. So we're going to keep the padding there. We can get rid of this modifier. And I found that you can actually do, if you change this from 100, you can actually use inherent also. There's another variant. What inherent does, it pulls in the value from the one above it. So it's just still do full screen. We have to add a property width again. And just gotta do some math. 475 to adjust for adding any of the paddings. You can also use a margin and do the same principle. Padding is just internally, and margins are external to any div, like the content. So we'll do the same thing. We'll switch this over to inherent as well. Get rid of this margin code. Give it a width of 500, and that fixes all that issues. Do a live view. Cool. Preview that. Make sure it's saved. Cool. Well, now that's working pretty decently. And that's one thing you'll find out with divs and rules. As you can see, there's a lot of properties here, and they all react slightly differently to different uses and stuff. Like you could even take this links container, double click on it. You want to add a little bit of a flare to it, style, bottom, do double, do a width of 2 pixels, and just make it black. Okay. And like I said, that's just something you could do if you try to make it look a little more cool. And like most sites, I would actually not use any of these colors. Obviously, they're just used for reference, so you can kind of see where divs are and everything. So now we want to move on to our main body. So we look at our code. So this is our other one, and you can put other stuff here. Like say you want to put some numbers. And the same thing goes for this one. Say you want to adjust this differently. So we go to our links 2. So you want to make this like your contact, you know, your address and stuff. You could actually just add the margin in this one. Margin left. And say 300. And we'll just change our width to 200. This is just more for an example of what you could do. As you can see, if I put this right here, there's the margin right there. So it allows you to, and that's the reason we did this initially with this outer links container, because then you can reference things over really easily and control them inside of here. Like say you want to add another, you could add another one in here, so we could actually duplicate this links. We have to make a third one. You could make a third one and put another one in here. Put one below it, make it really wide and put it below. So if you want to add more stuff, just makes it really controllable to adjust the content with just doing the two. So that's how that would look. So I'm going to undo that though. And I'll just change that to a padding left 300. There we go. as you can see, like I said, padding is internal, and then the other one external. So we go to live view, and there we go. And this is just something you could also adjust to. Same principle if you want to bring these down. Right now we have a height inherent, but if you want to change, you could say height of 90. Oops. What do you have? Where do you have these at? Sorry. 35. So you do a height of 25. And we switch this one to height of 25. You can add a padding or margin top. $10. And margin top. Oops, dang it. Margin top of 10 as well. So this gives you more control. Like I said, you could use a padding as well if you want to keep the colors. And usually, like I said, you wouldn't use any color here. And like on this one, I'll remove the color just so you can kind of see how that would look without. So you can say, okay, that's too much, too little, and you can adjust those based upon personal preference. I can also do that on this one too, just since we already have content in that one as well. There you go. So there will be your divs. Nice breakdown. We can do just one more, like the main body. So here is our links area. I guess you could actually just put these right here at the end of these. It might actually work a little better. Depending on personal preference. I kind of like them up on top. I think I like this here for end ones. Are kind of nice. Just put these right here. But I think for these top ones, actually, I think I like them personally just above. It helps me keep track of those. So here's our end of our links area. So we're at another body one. So go here. We'll go to our divs, and we'll start a new one. We can just duplicate this links one since it's right. So we're going to say main body content. And like I said, you can make multiple ones in here, and we'll actually we'll set up a left and right so you get used to that. Left. And we'll make get rid of that border. Get rid of these border properties. We can make these slightly different color. We'll make them a red just so we can see it for now. We can make the height. So our main body is 550 minus 35. So 515. I should get rid of this margin in this case. We'll add the float left. And a width will do, we'll say 250, just so we can have some variation on this. And we'll go here and do our do the div class main body container content left. Close that. Do a close on this one too. We'll add our comment. This one down too. I'll put the right. I'm just pre-putting these in so I have to worry about them later in a few seconds. I'm just copying all that so it's just easier. And main body. Okay. Just gotta refresh this. To this main body content. Select it. Oops. Come on. Right click. Duplicate. We'll just say right. So we have the width 250, so we can switch that to 750. Make this a slightly different color. Go with the burnt orange. Float left still, and height can stay the same. So we'll do the div class main body content right close, and we already placed this closing div here, so we got those right there, and we'll go up to design, and boom. This looks pretty good. It's right in the middle, so you can have, you know, if you want to have your buttons on the side, the same principle, you would just move these around differently. Like you could have this as a header if you want. You could have multiple layers of these. They're reusable, obviously, so you're able to, if you want to have more, you can add these, repeat these down farther places. Another thing I like to do, let me save all this. Then you can put your content here, pictures. You could add more divs for specific content layout, that kind of thing. This is just a generalization for most of the stuff. There's the live view, and I go over to browser. There we go. So now we have a auto-centered site. Oops. And what's nice about what we did, the reason we did that initial div too, with the background is you can see our background extends, but if we say you have a smaller browser, it doesn't add any scrollers until it doesn't add any scrollers, which is nice. And let's make an adjustment on that. Okay, to fix that problem, we're actually going to go back to the main canvas. Under position where we had fixed before, we're going to switch it to absolute. We'll preview this, save that again. What you'll find is that when your site clips the actual content area, it'll create a scroll bar so you can scroll it. So if someone has a smaller site or smaller browser, they are able to access all your site, not just lose some of it, which we were losing before. I'm going to go through these really quick, make sure you have the same settings as I do. I want to make sure these haven't changed. Height, left, mission. Okay, so there's our main canvas. Here's our main body. Links container. Main body content left. Main body content right. Links 1 and links 2. So I should set you up for all that kind of thing. Try that down. Drag this window down. Okay. If we take this links container, duplicate it, say footer, oops, footer, oops, footer, say OK, and we'll just make one or two changes. We'll go to this background, change this to green, oops, and again I did that again, careful of that, Control Z, Control Z. Add your main source code to the footer, delete this border, change the background to the green, change all these, delete all these border properties. Height can be 35 still, margins are auto with wiggle. You can actually do this width too if you were wanting to inherit as well. And actually the links container, we can do the width inherit as well, and those should good. The inherit's nice actually because it lets you edit things without having to do, especially on areas where things are full width, without having to do major changes later on. You'll have to adjust these if you do the inner boxes, but that's less work for you later on if you have to adjust things. The other main one, so we're going to go here to end main body. We're going to go down one. We'll add a new comment, and we'll call that start footer. Go down div class footer and end footer. End footer. Let's say, oh yeah, if you're looking, so this is control run Workman Ray Studios. We can add a insert a, if you want to do a type of special characters, you can go insert HTML special characters, and we can do trademark. Inserts that there. Back to our design. There we go. Let's see, we didn't, looks like we lost some color. Looks like we have some code issues. Let's see what we got going here. I think we have to add a float left. There we go. And margin. Oh, that's why. 1,000. We can add back the margin 0 auto. Cool. Let's see how it looks. Get to our live view. Which is why it's not showing the little margin tabs. 4 margin 0 auto float left main container footer. Let's see if we delete that float left. Let's see what's going on here. Look into our code. Main body left, main body right, in div, start footer, studios. Pause this and find out. Okay, I found the issue. All it was I wasn't scrolling enough, so we're going to go ahead and cut this out. And actually, we're just got to go below our in body. Here we go. Just hadn't scrolled down far enough on the scroller. So we put this right here, same code, div footer, and now it should be right where it belongs. So auto Okay, solve the problem with the missing footer. As you see, when we go to the live view, it's right in the correct location, but when we're in our non-live view, it's missing action. The reason for that is because I actually duplicated this from the main canvas, and I don't know why, but I guess it's a good thing to see. In the properties, we don't see the property with the position property. So we go up here, go to positioning, and that's what the issue is. We had 1,000 and a height there, so we get rid of those two. We now have the correct one. Add a property back, which is our width. Make it the 1,000, and there we go. So something to watch out for is if you're duplicating them, double check in here under positioning. I don't know why it doesn't show up. It was very odd, but that's what it was doing. So now, as you can see, we go to our live view. It's just still the same. As you can see, divs and stuff, and anything with the websites can be kind of finicky sometimes. So sometimes it takes a little bit of inspection to figure out what's wrong with it. But now we can see we have our auto width and everything working together with our other one. Previewing this. And the cool thing about the big one is you could actually stick a very cool large piece of art in the background here, and it would never scroll. And so we can double check against that. So they say you have something really large back there, and only people with higher resolutions would see it. Like, see, mine clips off at about, I think that's 900, but you could have them even larger because there's browsers out there go up to, or computer monitors go about 2,500 by 1,600, I believe. What's nice is when you start clipping into the actual content, they can view it. So it's a pretty nice little feature, a way of doing it. That covers most of this. If there's any other questions, feel free to email me or email me. Like I said, you can use this technique to keep adding and multiplying. Obviously, the biggest thing is watch for where you're putting your locations of your code. You saw how tricky that can be. I probably could do stuff like this. It might be a little easier sometimes with adding and ends and stuff. Possibly. It all comes down to how you want to order their location. I like to collapse stuff a lot of times. So if I was doing like links, I'd just collapse these down. So I want collapse these down so I won't see them. Or especially when you start getting lots of content, you just collapse the inside. So you still have all your start link areas and everything. It helps keep everything organized. And that's about it. That's all I have today on this tutorial. If you have any more questions, leave them know. I'll try to research it. Like I said, I've tried to troubleshoot quite a few little things here just going through the tutorial actually. Hopefully that fixes some issues if you had some. So have a great day, and this is Joel signing off.